All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanan, and in this video, we've got big news as Canelo Alvarez, according to reports, have signed a multi-fight deal with the PBC. And reading the tea leaves, could wind up having the biggest fight in boxing take place at the end of that contract with Errol Spence Jr. And leading into that could be Charlo and David Benavidez. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. We are going to be in the 168-pound division for this video, where we've got some good news that was expected, that Canelo Alvarez has signed a deal with the PBC. Word is that it is a 3-fight deal. The first would be Charlo. The second could possibly be David Benavidez, or the winner between David Benavidez and David Morrell. And then the third, depending on how another series of fights go, could wind up being with Errol Spence Jr. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Really makes a big deal in the channel. But before we get into that, I just want to tell you real fast about today's sponsor, the Boxing Showtime app. It's a very useful app that keeps you updated on all things boxing, and you can keep up with the latest fights, where to watch them, the latest news, and a lot more. For any hardcore boxing fan like myself, and most likely all of y'all, I would definitely recommend downloading it. And it also is most definitely a big support to the channel. It's available for both Apple and Android, and you can find the link in the description below. Thanks for considering downloading Boxing Showtime's app. But let's get back into the subject matter of the video. Seems like Canelo Alvarez wants to say, hey man, I'm going to be the face of boxing. I'm not giving up my crown that easily, because it certainly looked like that was where it was headed, because he is over there on the zone doing absolutely nothing in front of a whole lot and having a whole lot of people not watching his fights. And now that the block is hot over there on the PBC, he goes on over there. Smart move, Canelo. Smart move for your pocketbook. Great move for boxing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have been a critic of Canelo Alvarez for years. After having been a fan of his, an ardent fan of his for years, I have not liked the moves that he has made since he has been with DAZN. When Oscar De La Hoya took him over there to Golden Boy took him over to DAZN. And after he broke with Golden Boy, he went on this Eurobum tour that I have not been supportive of at all. Now, not all of them were Eurobums, right? Dimitri Bivol, very good fighter. Cannot throw him in that bucket. You have Caleb Plant there, very good fighter. Can't throw him in that bucket. Definitely a solid fighter. But with guys like Yildirim and Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith and Rocky Fielding, and then the last Gennady Golovkin fight, which there was really no reason to do. Nah, man, it was not really looking that good for Canelo. And during all this time that he's having these fights, you now have guys like Gervonta Davis making a big fight with Ryan Garcia, which winds up doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys, having a $22 million gate, which is the biggest fight that there's been in boxing revenue-wise since Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, since Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez 2, I think, maybe 1. So the biggest since then, now you got Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford that's fighting, and that's going to be a huge fight. That's probably another $20+ million gate from just judging from the fact that it's in the same venue as Gervonta Davis's fight with Ryan Garcia, and that the ticket prices are about the same, if not higher, and that the buzz for the fight is just as big, if not bigger, right? And so you can expect another really major show coming up on July 29th. And now with Canelo Alvarez, it sets up multiple very big fights for Canelo Alvarez. First, for boxing. Let me say for boxing, because this year it's been a great year in boxing, man. It's been a great year of boxing. It's the best year in boxing as far as consistently week in and week out having really good fights. I could just go, it's hard to remember all of the excellent fights that have taken place between, from the beginning of the year, from Gervonta Davis and Hector Cruz to David Benavidez and Callum Smith to the other Gervonta Davis fight. And then you've got just a lot of fights that have taken place this year that have been excellent fights, man. Deontay Wilder had a good fight. Just a lot of fights, man. And we got another one coming up in July with Monster Inoue and Steve Fulton Jr. Then you get 2 more fights out of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford this year, provided that whoever loses that fight actually takes the rematch. Just a terrific year. But this is what I think could possibly be taking place with Canelo, and how this could wind up in the beginning of 2023 be really off the charts, because if you can get Errol Spence Jr. is going to have 2 fights with Terrence Crawford, right? Now, if he's able to win those, solidifies himself for sure as the top dude in American boxing. I don't think that why Gervonta Davis is there. That's something big right there for Errol and Terrence Crawford. If Errol's able to pull that out, Errol Spence Jr. has already said that, when he gets past those fights, he's going to go to 154, and he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, be very open for that fight. There had been an offer made for Errol Spence Jr. and Canelo Alvarez before at a catch weight of 164. Errol himself said, hey man, I would fight in 164, 168, because, clearly he's trying to make a lot of money. So if Canelo Alvarez gets past Jermall Charlo, which is not promised, I'm telling you right now, that is not promised. Jermall Charlo, of course, people are going to talk about the layoff that Jermall Charlo has had over the last 2 years. That's definitely not a good thing. And you would have to favor Canelo going into the fight because of that. But do not be surprised, man. Jermall Charlo is a very, very solid fighter with very good trainer that has been wanting to fight Canelo for a long time. And if his mind is in the right place, he could pull that off, man. He really could. Then you've obviously got the David Benavidez, David Morrell winner. If Canelo takes that, I don't know if he would take that, but either way it goes, if they wind up making that fight between David Morrell and David Benavidez, that's a terrific fight. And then Errol and Canelo Alvarez somewhere around, the beginning or mid 2023. That would be just make boxing so exciting to watch over the next couple years, the rest of this year and halfway through next year. I got to take a special tip of the hat to a certain boxer, man, who I think from the outside looking in, really, man, definitely made a ripple with the decision that he made in his career. And that is Ryan Garcia, for deciding to fight Gervonta Davis and forcing that big fight. And Gervonta forcing it, and I don't mean forcing it out of Gervonta, forcing it out of Golden Boy, because you see what's going on in Golden Boy now. They prove ends in the pudding that they didn't want that fight, because now they are suing the manager of of Ryan Garcia for interfering with the negotiations and actually making that fight. Now they say, getting stipulations in the fight that they didn't agree to, that they wouldn't have done, and causing problems that way. But no, man, Oscar De La Hoya and those guys didn't want that fight. And because Oscar De La Hoya, that's how I see it. Oscar De La Hoya and them aren't making fights for any of their fighters. Top Rank ain't hardly making any fights for any of their fighters. But the PBC, so much for them going out of business and going broke, huh? Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.